Hello, how are you? Today I'd like to share some things with you about quiet, about stillness, in two ways. One, something that may help with your meditation practice, and two, on a greater level, something that can help with spiritual development. So the first one is this strange thing of all the many people I've seen, including myself, who sit on a cushion struggling to find peace and quiet. Struggle, peace and quiet doesn't quite go together. So I thought I'd share one or two simple tips. The first is to learn to be quiet and suddenly in the moment, in very short spaces of time. So not sitting down for half an hour or an hour, and like many of us have done. But you know when somebody says, oh, shh, listen. And all of a sudden, whatever you've been thinking, whatever you've been listening to, everything stops, and you attune your ear to find whatever it is, maybe a bird song, or just now here the hoopoes have come. And if you stop, you can hear in the distance, whoop, 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 whoop. It's very nice. So somebody can say, shh, then all of a sudden you stop. So if you practice that, then you'll find this sudden listening. Now this makes me think of something. A very, very wonderful Lama and Tibetan doctor. Some say he was the best Tibetan doctor of the last generation. Khenpo Truru Senam. And you know, doctors take pulses. And although it's technically quite complicated with 12 different points sensed with 6 fingers, 2 sides on each fingers, the thing was that when he took a patient's pulse, he would sit and hold their wrists and disappear. He'd become totally transparent to the point where the person interpreting for him suddenly felt what he was feeling through transmission, communication, which is the entirety of the patient's body, like tuning in. Now this is called listening in Tibetan medicine, listening in to all the organs and the functions and so on. And it requires a total transparency and silence from the doctor. And witnessing that was an amazing example of switching everything off and just in the moment, listening. Or it can be seeing, where generally we're aware through our senses and somebody says, look, look. And all of a sudden we stop. And we look with all of our fullness. So if you're meditating on a stone or a candle flame, then you stop and you look, you really look, and you enjoy looking. It's like somebody showing you a wonder. And then I remember some years ago in Zimbabwe, when the Masasa trees were just starting to make leaves. Now, those leaves are one of the softest experiences you can ever have. So someone said, feel this. And they touched a leaf against the back of my hand. And in that moment, you stop everything. And you feel that incredible softness on your nerve endings. So if we just from time to time stop and look and listen, and feel, and so on. And we get used to that. Then when we sit on our cushion, rather than sort of being half with the breath and half with a wandering mind, we can be really alive. And there is the breath, second after second, whatever sensation there is, or whatever meditation you're doing, Chinrazik, all of a sudden you see. So anyway, that can help with the quietness. But now something on a much deeper level. It's about our whole point of being alive and following a spiritual journey. And it's about humility, and it's about the isness. I've listened quite a few times lately to a wonderful track of music by someone called Nakho Bear. It's called Great Spirit. And it's a prayer to the Great Spirit in a sort of North American native tradition, with such respect for this Great Spirit which is everywhere. And then I have Christian and Muslim friends who have such great respect. And in a silence, in the face of God or Allah, or whatever it may be. In Buddhism, we have what we call the Great Mother, which is the infinite light, the life which is everywhere. Now there's something quite interesting here. You know, Buddha said, it's like a dream. Now in that sentence, the like is very important. He did not say that our waking life is a dream. Because in dream, and those of you who do lucid dreaming know this, you can change everything. The inner you, the outer world you're experiencing, because it is just your mind when you are dreaming. But when we're in the waking state, we are one tiny part of an infinite web of life, which is infinite, it never ends. It's bigger than we could ever imagine, more varied than we could ever imagine. And we can't change it, even if we'd like to change all the ills and problems in the world. We can contribute a bit, of course, but we can't do like in a dream and just change it all into light and perfection. So in the face of everyone and everything, and in the face of what we learned through the teachings, that the truth of everything is an utter purity, goodness, wonder, then we also need to learn to be quiet. And look, and listen, and feel. So if we call it the Great Mother, the truth of existence, or existence as it truly is, then I think one thing we often do as Buddhists, as practitioners, meditators, is to be like children with a mother, or rebellious teenagers with a mother, which is we ignore the kindness, the beauty, the gifts that are there. And instead we want our own way, and we use, and we manipulate, rather selfishly. So sometimes our Buddhist practice is done with a personal end, to fulfill our wishes and to become a spiritual person or whatever it is. And so humility is a wonderful thing, because it means we learn to be so quiet. And then the wonder of being is simply there. So then you maybe won't need to give rise to love and do laborious meditations about love and loving kindness and compassion and wisdom. Everything is there once we become quiet. Everything is there. So I just wanted to share that, and it's the same thing. Learning to become quiet so that the Great Mother can show her grace. As Tara, if you like names, as Vajravarahi, or just whatever the greatness of being is. We need to be quiet. So take a sudden moment, just stop. Be aware where we are and get used to that, and put those moments together so that when we practice with respect. Because when we shut up and be quiet, then we start to become aware of life around us and our fellow beings and the vastness of it, and our wonderful opportunity to serve, not to be the selfish teenager who drains and exploits, who milks reality, but who serves in kindness. Now, I've got one thing to share with you. I don't know if you can see. It's in French. And it says, Le bruit ne fait pas de bien, et le bien ne fait pas de bruit. Goodness doesn't make much noise. And noise doesn't do much good. So, no extreme is ever that good. But I think we have a lot of noise and a lot of activity in our life. And it's maybe the stillness, the quietness, which is missing. There's not enough balance. Life, busyness, music can be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But adding silence and space to our lives would be a great gift. So, goodness doesn't make a lot of noise. And a lot of noise doesn't always do much good. I hope this is helpful. Anyway, have a lovely day.